Hello, it's me again. Previously, I made a video talking about my horror video CDs, and I mentioned that I may not have all of my video CD collection being shown in that particular video because I put them in different places as I gain more and more movies on different formats. I lost track of where I put them really because I put my movies in my room and in my living room. So it's upstairs, and half of them they're downstairs. And so, yeah, they got mixed up. And I do not watch horror films as often as I watch Disney movies or, generally drama movies or fantasy movies. So I do not really track all of my horror movies on various formats. But today, I found some more horror movies on video CD format. So it turns out that the ones that I keep in my rooms, they're this type of video CD packaging, the jewel casing. But I put the this type of packaging downstairs. So now I spend some time to look around downstairs and then take all of the existing horror video CDs upstairs to make these videos. So just let's start the video. So this is part one of my horror movie collections on a video CD. See, the first one is Scream. That one actually says DVD, but well, this is actually the DVD version of the movie, but I do have the video CD inside, so I lost the cover. So this one belongs to my parents actually, but they lost the cover and then they were about to throw it away. So I took this one and put this in the DVD packaging. That is the DVD version. That is the video CD version. And then we got Double Vision. And then here I have Gothica with Halle Berry. I got this one actually for free. I bought Taken on a video CD and the seller gave me this one for free. Then we have a Thailand movie, Phobia 2. It's a series of short films, short horror films, quite interesting. And then we have an Indonesian movie. It's the knockoff of Reg. So, Terekam. Rekam is record. So, yeah. It's an Indonesian knockoff for Reg. But this one is purely supernatural, so it's not about zombie apocalypse or those things. It's plain um, about supernatural, so ghost sightings and those things. Then I have Season of the Witch. You'll see a lot of this logo, Jive Collection. This is basically just like Criterion Collection of Indonesia, which I think is very, very pretentious. Then I have The Descent Part 2, which is a terrible, awful sequel to a brilliant film, which I think it doesn't need a sequel. Next, we have John Carpenter's The Ward. I'm not sure if I can consider this one as a horror movie. I think it's more like a psychological thriller, like Shutter Island. But yeah, I can get mixed up with this genre, and forgive me for that. Next, I have Blood, the Last Vampire. It's a Japanese movie from the producer of Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and Hero. But I must admit that this is not a really good movie. And then we have Missing. And next we have Hidden Floor. It's a Korean movie, and I do enjoy watching this one. I think that is the final one of my Jive collection copies of these horror movies. If you put them together, they look very, very neat, look very, very uniformed. There you go. As I mentioned before, this is basically the Criterion collection of Indonesia. The studio, it was trying so hard to be just like a Criterion, it's like a boutique label, but just fail miserably. It's just very, very pretentious. But there you go. Let's move on to the next title. It's probably getting weirder and weirder. This one is Soul Survivors. And then I have Devour. The packaging makes it look so appealing, but the movie is not. It's bad. It's just plain bad. But the packaging is just so marvelous. It looks like it's a horror movie that is so brilliant, but it's not. Next, I got China Vampire. Also on video CD. Take a look at that. A huge label on top. Original video CD version. There's nothing on the spine, which makes it so difficult to find the movie because if you put them on the shelf, it just looks like a blank DVD box without any movie. But it has it's a movie. It's a China vampire, but it says nothing on the spine. That's the design of the back. China vampire. I think this one is a spoof that in the end, the vampire does not exist. That's a spoiler, but I don't think that really matters because the movie is just bad. Next, I have something that is really good. I must admit, it's a brilliant film. It's In Love with the Dead. It's not so popular, but I do really love this movie. It's a brilliant movie, and I was surprised because it's distributed by the same distributor, Global. So I think I saw this first. So I had my expectations so low for these because I thought the selections were just cheap horror movies, terrible ones. But turns out this one is incredible. This one is underrated in my opinion. You should watch this one if you haven't. It's a great supernatural horror, psychological thriller, and there's a horror aspect of it. It's just an amazing one. And just like the China vampire, nothing on the spine, which is irritating. That is on the back. It has a brilliant twist of the story. That's the discs inside. So again, if I put them together on the shelf, they just look terrible because it's difficult to tell what's the title of this movie, whether this is the China vampire or this is the In Love with the Dead, but that's all that we got. Let's move next to another terrible horror movie, The Haunted School. A lot of these horror movies are not terrifying at all. They're just plain, well, stupid. Next, I have an Indonesian horror movie. It's called Pulau Hantu or The Ghost Island. They were doing the stuff on VCD that in the United States probably they did that for a VHS when they're making such a intriguing artwork on the cover, but the movie is totally different from that. That is the case. So in my country, they did this a lot with many Indonesian horror movies. They would just put this incredible artwork for the cover. Looks like a very terrifying movie about this terrifying ghost, but it turns out it's not that terrifying, and the ghost is not as terrifying as that. It's a totally different entity inside. But yeah, there you go. That is the back with some screenshots from the movie. So when people talking about horror movies on VHS and how the artwork is just so totally different from the actual movie, I can relate to that, but not with VHS. I can relate to that with video CDs. This is one of the examples. Next, I have a brilliant one. This is The Hole. It's not really popular, I think, but it's a brilliant one. It's an interesting and it's a very very entertaining movie. Next, I have Halloween. This one is the 2007 remake, I think. Yeah. Evil has a destiny. Yeah, this one is the new remake from. This one listed 2009, but I'm not sure. But yeah, there you go. A lot of people hate this movie, but I think I must admit that I do enjoy watching this movie. It gives some logic behind what the main characters do. So it gives the proper explanation of and very realistic explanation of what could happen that's so terribly wrong that can shape this villain. Next, I have Pulse. The cover looks so intriguing, looks so brilliant, but the movie is it's bad. It's not terrifying, it's not thrilling, it's just so I think it's quite boring. There you go. Pulse. At least I like the actress, but the movie is just boring. And then Body 19. I think this one is also quite brilliant. It's a psychological thriller, I think, more than a horror. But yeah, it's a great, great movie. I think you should give it a try if you haven't. Then I have a weird movie. It's The Hollow. And one of the cast is Nick Carter from Backstreet Boys. That is weird. Yeah, it's a weird movie. It's trying to, it's a basically Sleepy Hollow story, but it's a terrible one. It's like a cheap version of Sleepy Hollow. Terrible. And then it's I'm going to keep this one, the last one, because this last one is a mystery to me. So let's move to the regular ones first. I have two left regular ones. First one is the Solstice, and then it's the Haunting in Connecticut. The last one, it bothers me really because this movie is unknown. I'm trying to find more information about this movie, but it's just very difficult to find a credible source for this one. It's called Joe Killionaire. Have any of you guys heard this movie, Joe Killionaire? One by one, they're done. This is probably the worst movie I've ever seen in my entire life. Just plain bad. It's just incredibly bad that it bothers me how they managed to pull this together and release this one, Joe Killionaire. Oh boy. This one, Joe Killionaire is a brilliant mix of horror, mystery, and comedy, and an obvious parody of Fox's hit reality show Joe Millionaire. In the tradition of the great um blah blah blah. It's a terrible movie. That's the box. It has slipcover, and that is the disc inside. By far the worst movie I've ever seen my entire life. So I think that is all that I wanted to share with you at this very moment. This is volume 2 of my some of my horror movies on a video CD format. Um, I do miss a lot of titles because I have them in different formats. I have them on probably on DVD or on Blu-ray, for example. Like I think I have the what is that? The movie about vampire, The Lost Boys, and the sequels on DVD, and other movies. Really, I don't really remember all of my horror films that I have in my collection, but it's some of them on my video CD versions because not so many people talk about video CDs collection like this one, and I'm just showing you some available titles for horror movies on video CD and how this could probably be it gives me the idea of how back in the 90s and 80s when they released VHS with those covers, the only way I can relate to that is with video CD. And I think that is all that I want to share with you at this moment. If you're still with me, I sincerely say thank you very much. Take care and goodbye. Oh, P.S. Happy Halloween.